Hey, it's us.
Hello, audience.
Hello. Levels go up,
Audience.
levels go up, levels go down.
Audience, can you hear the words of what we say? I wish to know.
Hello.
Hello.
Kaito
Hello.
says hello, and
Yes,
yes,
we
we
hear.
hear. So
Yay.
that means we are audible, as they say. And as I often say to my students, it's not an English class. So without farther ado, let me begin. And welcome to all the internet friends and webcomic fans. This is your friendly neighborhood dungeon biologist, bringing you another steaming helping of Trash Heroes, the Dungeons and Dragons stream, where we recount the epic the epic adventures of a wildly improbable collection of horrible creatures known as the Trash Heroes. As always, our players are a mega talented assembly of internet cartoonists, artists, makers, streamers, pickers
Weirdos.
and grinners. I like to throw out a reference every once in a while to make sure everyone knows I'm old. And yeah, please check out all of their work at the various links that you can peruse
Please put on your
in
wizard
your
hat
upper
at some
right.
point this game, Lane.
No, nope.
Maybe
I
after break.
refuse until Dan Galf appears.
Yes, yes. All right, we're going to
Maybe
Mud
after
Hollow.
break.
Mid-combat, we all
Yes.
abandon combat, going straight to Mud Hollow. Let's do it.
What's the range on Dimension Door?
Yeah.
Not that far. Yeah, where was I? Yes, please check out everybody's links in the upper right. You can see everybody's social medias and Patreons. There's, of course, also a Patreon for the stream below. And, of course, you can always support us by subscribing. Subscribers are entered into the draw for original artwork from our amazing artists
Speaking
that we
of,
perform every game.
Probable Futures won for last game. I finally got the thing downloaded.
Yes. So Probable Futures, if you are here, you already won, and
From
we'll be
last
receiving
time.
some fine artworks. But without further ado, let me introduce the characters. Absent this week, unfortunately, is the keeper of the vermin and protector of the trash heap, Fetid Quaggle. But you can see his little derp face sitting there anyway. Next, we have the larger-than-life pit-fighting superstar, Ugna Sugar Tusks.
It's Hockey Night in Canada.
It straight up is.
Next, we've got the trickster, cleric, rogue, baker, and all-around party animal, Tromlin Darioles.
Hi.
Who you currently don't have on camera, Lena, just
That
so
is
you know.
fine. Randy, let me know if you feel like being on camera. Otherwise, we gotta do not disturb Randy sign up.
Yeah, let's
That's
keep
all
that
good.
up. I prefer
Cool.
to be the feral animal that no one should look right at.
So if you do see Randy, what you're supposed to do is make yourself look big and slowly back away. It's the
Don't turn your back or I'll eat you.
rules. And then there is the wild magic streaming sensation, Morgan V. Sater.
Joker, not a smoker, but a midnight toker.
Very much so. And finally, there's our sweet old grandpa, who's also accidentally an ancient warlock, Copernicus Sunshine.
I'm a midnight death broker.
Too
When we
accurate.
last left our heroes, oh my goodness, we left in mid-combat. Let me give you a quick recap. So as the party was preparing for the soiree at the Citadel of Ravenfall, Fetid was off warning his Quaggle buddies in the sewers about the Raven cult infiltrators among the Weaselkin and the impending attack on the city that was going to make use of the Quaggle tunnels. And then Fetid spent the rest of the day helping to trap all of said tunnels leading out of the city before heading to the Citadel catacombs to sneak in and see what was going on with his buddies, you guys. Meanwhile, the event was in full swing, and Tromlin was getting into plenty of trouble by making a number of barely veiled and maybe not really veiled at all threats
I know what
to
you're
his
talking
siblings
about. I was being a delight.
and to Robin Scully, who had been attempting to cash in on the price on his head. Copernicus used the Gem of True Seeing to discover a wide array of invisible threats around the Great Hall, including swarms of deranged pixies, an invisible assassin, the fact that his cousin Captain Darius has a cannon on a backpack, as well as a ring of invisible magical sigils encircling the room. Morgan noticed that Glorpa had disappeared into the night, leaving a note and a gift of a mysterious purple potion, which Morgan is still in possession of. Oh, who just dropped?
The Jeff clone.
Did that just screw up our cameras? It did.
Yep. Let me go turn it back on.
Quick, give us all inspiration.
Give her a popsicle.
Hurry! Well, the DM is not me.
Yeah, who is the DM? Hold on.
You are.
Hey! All right. Yeah, I give
Is it-
everybody inspiration and 5 hero points, but I'm also giving myself 3 black tokens.
That seems about par for the course. I will remind the audience, since while we're working on that, that if you so choose throughout the night, you can cheer for our party with bits, and when you do cheer with bits, the bit counter will go up, and when it hits 100%, everybody gets another inspiration, which is good news for people like Copernicus and Tromlin who have none.
As soon as you give it to me, I spend it. I'm not responsible.
Yeah, that's true.
That's all
Um,
good.
I think a bird turned off the camera.
Oh, seriously?
Yes.
That's hilarious.
I think they were
That's
just
also
walking
very
around
on
my
brand.
tablet.
That is so on brand, I can't
Yep.
even. Okay, and recap. Yes, so you have this mysterious purple potion from Professor Schnorp, which is on Morgan's possession right now. Ugna and Kangar, the other wrestler, had a huge theatrical confrontation with loss of posturing for the crowd, after which the deranged pixies suddenly revealed the assassin by pulling his robe over his head and levitating upside down with his polka dot underwear on display.
Yay! That was wine well spent.
And
Yep.
Morgan noticed that several folks in the hall seemed unperturbed by the sudden appearance of an assassin, including Eliphas Darkmoor, the leader of the Raven cult, Robin Scully, who had been speaking to or whispering to the assassin, Zook and Zaya Greytower, members of the Raven cult, and
Forgot about
Phoenix Langarian, whose black vial bracelet seems now to be empty. It was then that the party noticed that Tromlin had disappeared, along with his daughter Webby, and also his siblings.
Exceedingly worried.
And just
Fair
then,
enough.
Fetid, watching from the high window, noticed sudden fires in the hills as a squadron of huge Zombonis, undead war machines, began to assault the city gates, along with a magical sheet of ice carrying the skating ice barbarians, worshippers of Nihil, who let out their battle cries, "Ulukukukukukuku." But before anyone could react to this, Fetid shot some arrows at the Lord Mayor of Mudhollow, Boss Hogg, his vendetta, just because, hey, there's some chaos occurring, so why not? Morgan shouted warnings about the assassins, and the assembled nobles began to flee in panic, and the guards ran in all directions. And Eliphas Darkmoor caught Perny's eye just in time for Perny to hit him with a witch bolt and proclaim that Eliphas Darkmoor has sold out the city to the barbarians.
By the way, Perny is
and-
working on a new comedy sketch where it's like, Witch Bolt? Witch Bolt! But Witch Bolt! And it's
Witch
his
Bolt.
warlock who's on first.
Good.
Yeah,
Excellent.
coming
Excellent.
to a stream near you.
And so the combat began with Darius Sunshine blasting his cannons into Eliphas Darkmoor and destroying most of his ablative demon armor.
I do love your cousins.
Very
very
but
good.
that did not stop Darkmoor from summoning an arcane gate through which the barbarians came swarming into the hall. Ugna jumped in. The guards are fighting back left and right. The deranged pixies created a swirling fairy vortex in the air that hypnotized the entire room, with the exceptions of Eliphas, Morgan, Ugna, and Boss Hogg. Eliphas turned himself invisible. Boss Hogg crept away into the crowd to hide, having already taken something like 30 damage from Fetid. And Ugna then began slapping people to bring them out of it, specifically Perny and Captain Darius.
Ugna did a
Morgan
smart
dropped
thing.
Morgan dropped a storm sphere on the barbarians, which is still active, and then a thunder step to go over and wake Fetid up. And we ended the round with Ugna and Darius being rushed by the newly aroused barbarians because when they took damage from the thunder step, they are now back in the fight. And Perny was attempting to spot Eliphas again and determined that he was in fact invisible. And that is where we left off at the end of a round. So I am going to begin with Tromlin and back up a few rounds and just let us know where Tromlin is at. I'm going to get you to roll an initiative, Tromlin, just so I can place you in the order
All right.
for the upcoming stuff.
Let's see. Oh, that's a really good initiative. +3, 21.
21. Then I know where to put you. All right. So while all this was going on, Tromlin, in the early stages of this combat, when people were shouting about Eliphas Darkmoor and before the actual rounds of combat began, you found yourself kind of turning around in the crowd here to face this combat that had just started as Perny denounces Eliphas Darkmoor and throws a witch bolt at him, and the howl from out in the hills of the barbarians causes the various nobles to go, "Oh no, a raid!" and start to kind of scramble in all directions. You suddenly find yourself within the crowd confronted by your siblings, Lothric and Lobelia. And what had occurred was that Lothric stepped up behind you as Lobelia smiled in your face, opened her robe, and fired a wand of paralysis at you.
Okay.
Finding yourself immobilized, and your daughter Webby launched herself at Lobelia and then suddenly fell asleep as you recognize some kind of sleep spell. Lothric then hefts you up, him being a beefy boy, and whisked you out of the room. And so that is basically what happened in rounds 1 and 2 of this combat. But you are still aware of your surroundings, so you know what's going on. Down the corridor from the Great Hall is a series of stairwells that lead to the nobles above, and a number of nobles are kind of grouping up into specific groups. You imagine it's their houses, and are going up different stairwells. These are the nobles from out of town who have quarters in the Citadel. And so the Boltries have a place to go, and that is where they are in the process of whisking you off to.
Would you call it a bolt hole?
Boltry hole. And so as you are being whisked up this stairwell, I would like you to make me a perception check.
Well, that is something I am good at, actually.
You are very good at this.
Hold on 1 second. Come on, dice roller. Why are you crapping out on me? Come
you have
on.
a +7 to this.
Yeah, it's hanging up. Like 19.
19 on the die?
No, 12 on the
total.
die.
Okay. So you will notice as you are being whisked up the hall, actually make me a second roll, because I'm going to give you the advantage of paralysis. I'm going to basically go, as you are unable to move and all you can do is focus on your senses, I'm going to give you advantage on this perception roll.
Well, this time it was a 19 on the roll, so that's a 26.
Ooh,
Excellent.
nice.
So you notice two things, in addition to the crowds of nobles fleeing from the Great Hall in various ways. Not all of the nobles are doing so. Any local nobles do not have quarters in the palace,
Mm-hmm.
in the Citadel. But you will notice that shortly behind your cousins who are fleeing, with Lothric carrying you and Lobelia carrying the sleeping Webby. You will notice that a short distance behind them, striding purposefully down the same hallway, are the perfectly in sync twins, Zook and Zaya Greytower, who are also heading in this direction. And behind them, you see a flash of black, just a momentary flash in the corner of your eye, like a shadow, following them. And
Well, that could
then
be bad.
in the following round, Lobelia and Lothric head up to the stairwell and pass you off to a group of soldiers who you recognize their outfits. They are wearing the Boltree livery, and these are the same outfits that you saw on the hired men-at-arms at your uncle's townhouse.
Gotcha.
So these are Boltree family soldiers. And Lothric and Lobelia are passing you over to these soldiers. Meanwhile, the Grey Towers, who you caught the sight of on the edge of your vision, continue up the stairwell past the nobles' quarters and are going somewhere further beyond, up into the higher stories, walking with purpose, like they have some kind of specific mission in mind. At that point, this being the last round of the previous game, I would, and actually, I think the last thing I will say that you notice is that Zook and Zaya, as soon as they get up the stairwell and kind of beyond the view of most of these nobles who are kind of running into their various quarters and barring the doors, begin moving their hands as though to be enacting some kind of magic. And at that point, I would like you to make your next Constitution saving throw. You have been making these saving throws since you got the spells cast on you. You currently have a Bane on you, so you had to subtract 1d4 from your Constitution save.
Well, what is my Constitution save?
It's only a +1.
So I have -3.
So you rolled a d4, you got a 4, so you have a -3.
No, I haven't rolled anything right now.
Okay, so you roll a d4 first.
Okay. 1, good.
So the -1, so you have 0. So you're just rolling a die and telling me what's on the die.
Here's open. 14.
14 will not do it. So for this round, now the thing about the wand of paralysis is it's not super powerful. You get to re-roll the saving throw every round. So for this round, I'll start with you at the top of the round, separate from everybody else, since you're in a different area, and also since you have the highest initiative. But basically, this is a separate set of events.
I am almost at a point where I want to take a black token.
Well, I'll tell you what happens here, and then you can decide if you want to do that or save it for next round. So the soldiers are taking you into custody in this room, and as well as Webby, and they begin tying you up. Meanwhile, Lobelia and Lothric, Lothric is complaining to Lobelia, saying something about, little brat bit me. Clearly referring to Webby before when Webby threw herself on them before the sleep spell was cast.
Okay,
And it's like sucking on an injury on his hand.
Token more. You baby.
And Lobelia waves him off, like sort of, oh, suck it up, as he's like whining about the bite on his hand. Lobelia goes over to a cabinet, which she opens and takes out like almost like an old style carpet bag type satchel, and begins removing a number of potions. small vials of liquids of various kinds.
Ooh, they all gonna die in that room.
Yeah.
They're all gonna die.
I mean, you know, when you get bit by one of the children of Loth, that's bad.
Well, you don't know what effects that may have had.
No, but it's not great.
They also
Um,
don't necessarily know it's a child of Loth. They just know.
No.
It's
yeah, they just know you've got a kid with you. Well, also you introduced her as your daughter, so they do know that.
Yeah, so they know they have to get rid of her too. At this point, my child is in danger. Well, first off, can I try to get? Well, I'm paralyzed. I can't do shit.
You have to make your saving throw before you can do anything.
All right.
But if you are willing to take a black token, I am willing to bend some events in a different direction that I was going to do.
It seems like in this situation, Tromlin would do anything possible. A, he wants to get revenge on these people bad. This is his shot. But more importantly, B, child's here.
You pray to your baby mama.
Do you want to spend a black token?
I think it's the what he would do.
All right. So I'm going to leave that scene momentarily then and continue the round elsewhere. Alina, please mark the black token.
I will.
Peter, I did see your message and I already knew that. I have
was
it
just
marked on my notes.
finishing inking a dog. It still needs a
Yay.
I'm continuing to work on commissions. I got done all my San Diego ones, and now I have Gen Con ones.
How many more do you have left to do?
Just
the last few?
7?
Wow. Jesus.
I took a lot of commissions at Gen Con.
Okay. So,
One
back
black
in
token.
the main hall, something was going to happen. How am I going to do this? No, I'm going to leave it alone. Okay, so something that was going to happen does not happen now because of the black token being spent. And instead, I will move on to who is at the top of the round here. Eliphas Darkmoor and Darius, Captain Darius. So Eliphas Darkmoor is still concentrating on a spell. Did you just turn on your camera, or did just a bird start messing with it again?
It's messing with it.
The audience can't see this, but in the camera that Alina has turned on in order to put Tromlin in that spot, or Fetid in that spot, we just saw a bunch of random movement because a bird is messing with it. Which is like hardly surprising because it's Alina.
These iPad kids these days, you know?
Yep. I'm just taking a moment here to buy all of the, as I often do with my excess channel points, I am buying all of the emotes so I can use them.
I do have a few games on the tablet for Meg.
Yeah, we actually have some bird.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, Paul, for the resubscription.
Yeah.
We'll be definitely including you in the draw. All right.
Getting what feels like a very fey drink. A little blackberry lime gin smash.
Ooh, that sounds real
Called
good.
Tempo.
Perny, you had just used at the very end of the round the Gem of True Seeing to reacquire eyes on Eliphas Darkmoor, and discovered that he had moved about 10 feet away just to keep himself out of the range of the storm sphere, and had turned invisible, and is maintaining his concentration on this spell that he is maintaining. I'm going to get you to do a couple things here. Make me an Arcana check, because it occurs to me that you have a decent chance of knowing some of what's going on here, magically speaking.
One Arcana check coming right up. Did you want that with the natural 17 plus 10 for 27? Does that sound about right?
Well, in that case, I'm just going to tell you the
pretty
spells involved here. So, first of all, you already know that Eliphas Darkmoor is a warlock, which means
not a lot of spell slots.
But it also means that you recognize what he is doing here. That spell is an arcane gate, which he is maintaining. And an arcane gate is a spell of a level higher than warlocks can cast, with the exception of the power of Mystic Arcanum, which is special magic bestowed by the patron at higher level, which basically allows the using of a specific 6th level spell without a spell slot.
Got it.
And that is probably what he has done to power this arcane portal. You also recognize that he has cast a greater invisibility spell on himself, which means he can continue to do things without becoming visible. And that is made certain to you when an eldritch bolt lances out and strikes you as though from nowhere, but of course you can actually see the spell is coming from Eliphas Darkmoor.
Warlock Throwdown.
Yeah. So I believe that means I make a hit roll. Range spell attack. What's your armor class?
14.
Okay, he will beat that. And it is a series of beams that strike you. 3 of them, in fact. Oh, I have to make a different attack roll for each beam. I will roll them all. I guess that means he can hit multiple targets. All 3 of them are going to hit you.
Bring it on.
And you are going to take 15 points of force damage from Eldritch Blamasts.
Okay.
And let's give me a quick double check, because I think he has a thing that beefs that. I'm sure you're aware that like half of the Eldritch invocations are modifications to the Eldritch Blast. Yes, he gets to add charisma modifier to the damage. Oh, that's for each beam. So that's another 12 damage.
It's a
So
big
you
con
take
mod right there.
27 damage total.
All right. I have a note for the number 4 on my hit points that I think is damage I took at some point in the opening stuff
Yes.
of combat.
Yes, you had already taken damage.
Yeah. So then that takes 31 points of damage to my 66 HP. So I'm still a little over half.
Yep.
Okay.
And he is not using any of the other modifications he can do to Eldritch Blast because he doesn't want to do any of those. So
Cool.
That's it.
That was rude.
And he will
Very
continue to kind of maneuver and try and put things between you and him, having zapped you with that. Next, because you're also also because of you're using the Gem of True Seeing, you notice a bunch of invisible little imps that appear, and you recognize them because you have some of these too. They are unseen servants that appear around your cousin Darius and industriously set to reloading the cannons on his back.
Yeah.
And of course, you like shake your head and are like, "Oh, Maestro." Because
Good.
obviously the Maestro has thought about the needs to reload and how difficult it would be to reload cannons that are like on your back without the help of unseen servants.
We need to buy that guy
So that
dinner or
continues
something.
to happen.
He's great.
Yeah.
In addition, Captain Darius is in hand-to-hand combat with a barbarian. So he is going to draw his ship's saber, his cutlass, effectively. And he is going to hit this barbarian once and do some damage to him. And that's Cousin Darius. Next up is Morgan and Fetid on the next turn.
Hell yeah.
So Morgan, you're across the room having thunderstepped. You kind of give a little slap in the face to Fetid to bring him out of the hypnosis. And then you delicately floated down to the floor. Because remember, he's at the high window. And so you are across the room from where you are still maintaining concentration on your storm sphere. So remember that because of that storm sphere, you may strike someone with lightning as a bonus action. Previously, you were doing that to shoot at Robin Scully.
Is he dead yet?
You've done 31 damage to him so far.
Um,
I'm reminded of that comedy sketch about the soccer shootout where the guy trying to defend the goal just keeps taking the ball to the face. And it's just like that. Robin Scully's like nowhere near the fight, and every once in a while lightning just strikes him, and he goes like yelp and goes flying through the air, and then a little later another lightning bolt just goes off and strikes him. Just random guy in the crowd getting every lightning.
and where's Ugna?
So
Still-
Ugna and Captain Darius are both within the
Right
storm
at the
sphere.
front. Yep.
Yeah.
You had excluded them from it,
Yeah.
and they are both within the storm sphere in hand-to-hand combat with the barbarians that are continuing to pour in through the portal.
Mm-hmm. Enlarge Reduce is unfortunately another concentration spell. Otherwise, this feels like a good time for it. So
Oh, yeah.
instead, I will do a Chaos Bolt and Lightning
Chaos Bolt.
Strike.
Chaos
The
Bolt will
guy
not
who-
break your concentration. I'll just remind you where your spells are sitting.
Mhm.
You have one third level spell left because you cast a Thunderstep and you spent one to grant yourself extra sorcery points, or to buy back some sorcery points.
Oh yeah.
You have one fourth level slot left because you've cast two of them, but you regained one with a wild magic surge.
That was pretty hot.
And then you have used none of your third level slots. You used a Misty Step earlier, but that was the one time you can do it for free. So you still have 3 slots at second level. And then at first level, you have used a Silvery Barbs, and this will be your second Chaos Bolt. So after this, you will have only 1 spell slot left for first level. You also use Entangle, but you can do that once per day for free.
Okay.
So just so you know where you're sitting.
So for third level, I have 3 still. Sorry, I got mixed
You
up.
still, so for first level, after you cast Chaos Bolt,
Yeah.
right now, first level you'll have 1 slot left. Second, you'll have 3 left, and third and fourth you'll have 1 left each.
Okay.
Unless you want to cast this Chaos Bolt above first level, because you do have a lot of second level slots.
No, I want to do a Chaos Bolt so I can hopefully pop off on other people.
Yeah. So just a first level.
I will Chaos Bolt off of names escape me, the dude who has not yet died that I've been beating at.
Okay.
Beating
Robin?
at. All right. Chaos Bolt, that is a 19 on the dice.
That will hit. That will very hit because you got a bonus as well. So go ahead and roll your 2d8 and let's see what happens to them.
That is a 4 and a 3. And I choose
So
between these, right?
Yeah. So that would be choosing between fire damage and force damage.
I will do fire this time.
Okay. And then the damage, you add those together, so that's 7 and then another d6.
Right. That's only a 2, sadly.
So 9 fire damage to that barbarian.
I think it only pops off on another person on a pair.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then you want to do your lightning strike. Do you want to do the same
Hmm.
target, or are you going after Robin again?
I will same target.
Okay, so you're going after the same barbarian you just chaos bolted.
Yeah.
Go for it.
And that is 46.
Yep. Well, you got to roll to hit him first.
Isn't it a saving throw? Is that one saving throw? Straight
No,
saving
that
throw.
one's a hit roll.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, the initial is the.
Yeah, every
Saving
round
throw.
he has to make a strength saving throw or take battering damage from the
Ooh,
winds.
that's only a 2, unfortunately.
Do you want to do any of your juice?
Yeah, I'll juice it.
So your choices are: you can use your wild magic surge to roll again.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Okay. So go for it, and I will pull up the wild magic table.
Oh my god! I rolled another 2. You're going away.
No.
You are.
Okay, so that
I
still
got-
misses him.
Yeah, I got this for today's first wild magic search.
Yeah, yeah.
It comes with random little toys, stickers, and candy. Let me just. This is hard to open. Oh my god.
So the idea here is, depending on what you get out of that, I'll determine sort of where to range this.
Yeah. I don't know.
What are the options? What kind of
So-
comes in these things?
Okay, there's gumballs, obviously.
Oh, pinballs.
There's eye patch, which I guess I should have thought would be in here. And then there's stickers. So there's a bird whistle, a eye patch, a gumball chest, and a eyeglass. Whatever that means. I thought
Wait.
there'd be a toy in here. I guess that eye patch counts as a toy. I don't know what that would be on the list.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I don't know. There's
thought,
nothing. I kind
Yeah.
of figured I would make a couple rolls and then like pick the one that was most appropriate to that, but nothing's
Yeah.
really coming up. I'm just
yeah,
gonna
I
take
thought
the
there'd
first
be
roll.
like I thought there'd be like a Kinder Surprise random toy. in
Well, you know
here.
what?
Sorry.
Gumballs are brightly colored,
Sorry.
so I'll stick with the roll of 24. Well, actually, I shouldn't tell you what it is, but
Okay.
you turn a vibrant shade of bright blue, and you will remain so until such time as a remove curse is used on you.
Dabba dee, dabba die.
You are blue, dabba dee, dabba die.
Hold on. Let me see if I can get it around one horn.
Trying to get this eye patch
Get
on.
an eye patch.
There we
Yahar.
go.
Join
There we
Darius
go.
and the captain in the pirate squad.
Okay, now
Yeah, it's on
Fetid,
team. This is my
Fetid,
bad eye,
having,
unfortunately.
having been awakened by
But I
your
did this
slap, is going to take note of several things. One, he is going to note that although they are all currently hypnotized and not moving towards him, that a number of soldiers have been rallied up around Rufus Coldrain, the sheriff, and they are heading in his direction. Now, at the moment, they're not moving because they're all hypnotized, but he figures this is a good time to not be where they're looking. So he is going to take his 2 arrow shots at the barbarian that you just zapped to try and help you take him down. So I would like you to make those rolls for me. So please roll 2 hits. Morgan,
Oh, sorry.
you are attacking for Fetid, who is attacking your foe.
All right. Let's see.
So roll 1d20 for his first arrow.
Oh, that one's the bad one. 12 on that one.
12 on the die will be a 20, dirty 20. That'll hit.
And 9 on the other one.
Is a 17, which will just hit. So both hit.
He's
I would
luckier
like you
than
to
me.
roll I'd like you to roll the damage.
Which is how many?
He is going to spend his bonus action here to move his hunter's mark onto this guy, which means that he does 4d6 damage to this guy, and the first hit, and then 3d6 on the second hit. So roll the 4d6 on the first. He has added his bug swarm, so lots of little stinging insects are flying with his arrow.
13 on the first one, and then 3d6.
Yep, 13 on the first one.
9 on the
Wait.
other one.
Okay, and then he has a +5. So 13 plus 5 is 18 damage on the first one, and then 9 and then 14 on the second one. That is enough, even with the resistance, to take this guy down. The resistance, of course, doesn't apply to the magical damage; only applies to the piercing damage. So, yeah. The barbarian you just zapped kind of looks like, gives you is that all you got kind of look, and then 2 arrows thunk into his back, and he keels over and falls down. And then Fetid is going to spend the last of his turn to leap down from the window and disappear into the crowd, so that he is not seen by the sheriff and his posse, who are watching and gathering around, as we are all aware. That was a Disney reference. I can't work Robin Scully into it though, because he's not on your side. Otherwise, it'd be Robin Scully and Little Fetid. But all right. Next up on the initiative order is Ugna.
All right.
Bone crushing time.
I believe that it is
You are-
time to hit some barbarians in the head.
Yeah, you are in hand-to-hand combat with
Yelpers.
2 of these barbarians.
I am getting a little low on my superiority points, but I've still got a
Yep.
couple left.
Yep.
So I'm just gonna hit the first guy in the head. Also, this entire fight, Ugna's been trying to like hit them, make them slide back across the ice, like push a table at them and get them off their feet, but like her muscles just don't feel as they don't
Yep.
have the same oomph as they normally do, and she's just
You
feeling
currently
tired.
have a strength curse.
I am cursed. I don't know why. I just feel tired. Maybe I'm coming down with something.
Indeed.
Let's shake it off. They're all attacking recklessly, correct? So
Yes,
I have
they are.
advantage.
You have advantage to hit them.
Let's hit them in their heads. Well, that'll hit. That's an 18 plus another 8, so
Yep, that'll very hit.
that'll hit. However, I do not have. Oh, it's my AC. I don't have. I thought I had a weird weapon. I'm just.
Nope, you
rolling
got
my
your hammer.
normal. Yep. Let's hit this guy in the head. Ooh, so that would be an 8 plus a 7, so 15.
15 damage?
Yep.
Okay. Are you putting anything on that? Or leave it at that?
I will leave it at that. I want to save a couple
Okay.
superiority points for whatever's going to happen.
So he takes 8.
Yep.
Because of the barbarian rage.
Yep. And then I'm going to.
And then you're gonna hit him again?
I'm gonna hit him again, and I'm gonna do my bonus action. Just give him a little shot to the face.
Hit him with the shield?
Yep.
Remember, you're fighting with a shield.
Yep. Oh God. Nope. That's a 4 and a 1, so I miss with a shield bash.
So your high roll is a 4. Yeah, it's not going to
Plus
be
8.
enough with your
Yeah. It's like a
12.
12.
Not good
No.
enough.
And the third one. Well, that'll do. That is a dirty 20.
That'll hit.
Yep.
Damage.
Second verse, same as the first. Only a 6 on that one, plus 7. So
13.
13.
So he takes half of that, takes 7.
Yep.
15 damage to him.
Yep.
This guy's already got a guard spear in him, but he's still on his feet.
And I'm going to use my free action to be like, all right, boys, let him have it. And kind of wave to all the other wrestlers. Drive them back.
The other wrestlers are all standing and staring at the ceiling.
Oh, right. I didn't wake them
Yeah.
up yet.
There's only a handful of people here who are able to maneuver. And in fact, you'll notice
I will
a
yell,
couple of
"Somebody give them a
barbarians.
shake."
It's the barbarian's turn. You'll notice a couple more barbarians come skating in through the portal and immediately stop and stare at the ceiling
Great.
and just stand there.
Can't imagine they have great wisdom saves.
No, but they do have to make saving throws, strength saves against the battering damage, and if they take any damage, they will come out of their. So one of them immediately comes out of it when he gets smacked in the head with some blowing debris. The barbarian that you are fighting made his save. That one failed, and that one failed. Please roll your damage, Morgan, for your Storm Sphere battering damage. 2d6 bludgeoning damage.
What, help me?
Morgan?
Oh, I
Yep,
think
that's you,
muted.
Raven. You're also muted.
Still
You're
muted.
still muted.
6 on the dice, sorry.
Okay. Another 3 damage to that guy. All right. And barbarians that can attack you are going to do so, Alina. They're attacking recklessly, which gives them advantage. A bird.
She's trying to eat my character sheet.
So you have two barbarians attacking you. One of them will not, even with advantage, will not hit
Ooh.
you.
All right, good.
Because I think they don't have the giantest bonus. What is their attack bonus? Yeah, +5, and I rolled best rolls a 9. I think your armor class is over 14.
It's 15.
Oh, just.
Just.
Okay, so he almost hit you. At least now I know they needed 10. And the other one definitely hit you. So he is going to hit you with his huge slashing hockey stick-like weapon in two hands, which we're basically treating as a great axe.
Yeah.
And that is 15 damage.
Oof. All right. Ow. I'm now looking a little beat up.
Yeah, he's got rage damage bonuses.
Well, that's rude.
And two of them are also attacking Captain Darius. And both will hit. So he is taking some damage and cursing and swearing as
The
he gets
Linnies have
hammered
stolen
on.
the cover off of the tablet and moved it over to the side of the couch so that they could build a nest out of it. I don't know
So
how they
that's-
moved something that big.
Well, they probably work together. You gotta cooperate.
Teamwork makes
Okay.
the dream work.
Yep.
That is the barbarians. Copernicus, you are up.
Okay, I have a few questions as I try to think about how to cheese as much as I can out of this turn. So, who amongst our allies is still asleep? Or distracted, rather. Dazed.
So most of the Loxodons are still staring up there. The one or two who are not are trying to figure out what's going on. Actually, they're probably starting to wake up the others. They're probably going like, "Hey, snap out of it," and shoving and poking at their friends. You have lost sight of. Actually, you made a really good investigation roll, so I'm going to give you a bunch of. So, you have lost sight of Puckelzog. You imagine he has either left the room or has gone deep among the crowd. The crowd is actually thinning, or was thinning, but all the remaining nobles are kind of stopped and are staring at the room. Most of the guards as well. The handful of guards that are still up and operating are rallying around Sheriff Coltrane, who is still functional. He's not an ally, really, but also not really an enemy, because he doesn't even know who you are. And you can imagine that he and the soldiers here could very much be turned against these barbarians. In fact, some of the soldiers that kind of haphazardly before they got rallied up had been throwing spears at the barbarians.
I think I gave a very rousing speech.
Yes, indeed. Well, and also it's kind of, like, hey, the barbarians that we know are a danger to the city are in here.
And they're the ones who shot Boss Hog. I'm certain of it.
There's
Definitely,
a big
yes.
magic, there's a magic sphere, magic area. And then you also notice among the sort of paralyzed nobles at the edges of the room, only because you rolled such a good perception check, Don Garveldo is standing among them. But because you're using the Gem of True Seeing, he's not really there. It's an illusion.
Yeah.
It's not the disguise of Elgato. It's just an illusionary.
That's not
and
Garfield.
you-
It's a Garfield statue.
And well, and
Garfield-
nearby
Garfield
you
mascot costume.
Yes.
you notice nearby the crouching figure of Odinardo
Okay.
is in fact concentrating on that illusion
Okay.
that he has created. It's a minor illusion. So Odinardo is clearly not hypnotized because he's maintaining that spell. Captain Darius is obviously not hypnotized. He's in the fight. And slowly but surely, the various Loxodons are being wakened up by their companions. You also see the shambling mound off in the corner, huddling with a bunch of the with Lady Direlust and a bunch of the other sex cultists, and some of them are kind of staring at the ceiling, but they're all kind of like the shambling mound has built a barricade of tables, and they're all kind of hiding behind it to stay out of harm's way.
Oh, Shambly.
Yeah, go Shambly.
very smart.
Next question. May I look up Arcane Gate and Greater Invisibility on that 27 so that I, Peter, know how they work and can strategize as Perny?
Yes, you may.
Okay. I didn't want to do that without clearing it with you first. I just want to see if Arcane Gate requires him to maintain eyeline to the spell.
I am not sure if it does. It does require concentration, and you don't have to be able to see the other 500 or the other end of it. No, you do. Choose 2 points you can see.
Oh.
One within 10 feet of you and one within 500 feet of you.
But
So
I
there's
think
an
that's just when you
interesting.
cast it.
No, but that's an interesting point because there's no way he can see the other end of it. Yet he has cast it. Which makes you wonder about the runes that he seems to have been using.
Okay. But if I blocked his eyeline to it now, it wouldn't break the spell or anything. So my next question. Thrakma can, quote, pierce illusions with his eye. Does that mean he exposes illusions and other people could see someone perhaps with greater invisibility cast on them? Or does that mean...
No.
Okay.
It means
just
he
if
can see
has
through
piercing.
illusions.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then I think what I'm gonna do, and then last question, well, I can't necessarily reveal Elephas to other people. Would like blood crafting a net onto him or something make him so that he's now easy enough to see that people could attack him?
So yeah, greater invisibility is just a invisibility that doesn't break. But like, yeah, if there's like an outline around him or some other kind of way of, like invisibility doesn't stop you from being heard, for example. Like there are ways. If you cast invisibility spell and then you like go stand in a lake, like there's like an obvious void where you're standing, like yeah.
That always bothered me in Lord of the Rings when Isildur goes into the water. You don't see the like the vacuum that he leaves, and that always bothered me.
But the moment he goes into the water, the ring slips off his finger anyway. So
Not the moment. He
Well,
appears in the water.
yeah.
He phases into the water, and that
from Dungeons and Dragons terms,
yeah.
he
Gotcha.
either way he gets attacked because
Yeah.
they can
But
see
to be very
him, so
clear,
it
this is
doesn't
not
matter.
a rules clarification. This is Peter grinding a 20-year-old axe. Cool. Okay. So this is great. Thank you for all of this wonderful information. That's going to make this a wonderful and productive turn. Appreciate you being so forthcoming. And I'm going to go ahead and I think as a free action, can I just like yell at the soldiers and the Doxodons like, first priority is you wake up your comrades. Second priority is you stop them coming through the gate.
You
Just to
can
get
indeed
them...
do that,
Okay. Then
and
as a
everyone
bonus
will
action,
hear you. You still have
Sorry?
thaumaturgy going,
Yeah,
so
I'm
everyone will
definitely
hear
going
you.
to thaumaturgy that.
Yep.
I think I'm going to drop a distracting intrusion on Elephas, if I may, as a bonus
I will
action.
roll his saving throw. You actually got it. What's the DC on it? Isn't it like a 15?
I believe it's a 15, and I don't
Yeah.
think it's goosed by my Rod of the Packkeeper. I don't believe it's goosed by that.
You have indeed succeeded.
Amazing. Love for him to have disadvantage then. And then lastly, if he just straight had a witch bolt going into him nonstop, would that also reveal his location?
I mean, sort of, like in the sense that the end of the lightning would be hitting a thing
Yeah.
that no one can see. But if they wanted to like go and attack, like remember, if you just told people right there next to that table, swing your axe, they can attack him with disadvantage, right? So you can, that would be a good way to sort of indicate where you want people to attack. They would just have disadvantage because they can't see him. So
And-
that is a very viable strategy. I will point out you only have one spell slot left, so you got to
Yeah. Well,
make that decision.
I can recharge. I think I am going to go ahead and drop a witch bolt on him.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna.
Wasn't
drop
sure if you were
10
going to do a summoning.
I think I was gonna maybe if Thrakma could reveal him, I would do it, but I think I'm gonna drop the witch bolt, and I think I'm gonna shed 10 HP worth of blood to goose that ill level even higher. If I may.
Oh, and cast
Yeah.
it a 5th level witch bolt.
Yeah.
All right.
And can
Roll to hit.
can I move behind a and then as I'm doing this, I'm going to move behind a pillar for as much cover as I can get while maintaining eye line.
Okay.
Okay.
So you have moved now behind the portal, so he can't put it between you easily. But keep in mind that all he did before was like get around the pillar, and then he broke your line of sight, and the witch bolt ended. So he could try and do something similar.
Okay. Perny's gonna go down fucking fighting then. He's gonna
Yeah,
go out in the middle.
I'm just
with
thinking that if you try the demon summoning, it'll stay on him, right? Regardless of where he goes. He can't break eye contact.
Yeah.
But then you have other disadvantages. So I mean,
There's wisdom in what you say, but I think for Perny this feels personal, and he's gonna witch bolt, and he'll stay out in the open so that he can maintain eye line wherever
Go for
he
it.
goes to hide. All right, let's
All
do
right.
this long expected attack roll. Hey, that's an 18 on the die for like a
Nice.
That will successfully
27.
hit.
All right.
That will successfully hit.
All right, so then I believe it's 5d10 damage I'm gonna do with my Goosed Witch Bolt. Well, 5d12, my bad. Don't want to hide my light under a bushel here.
Yep. 5d12 damage.
Okay.
And I will point out that he has no longer got any of those demon things that were sucking up damage. The last time you hit him,
that was a good roll.
because the last time you hit him, it lapped over.
39 points of damage. 2 12s.
Ooh.
2 12s in that roll.
Okay, I've got to look up whether doing the thing that he can do is going to break his concentration on the spell. First of all, he's got to roll a con check. Because isn't the difficulty of the Constitution save based on your damage?
Yeah, it's half the damage rounded down, I believe, or 10, whichever is lower.
So he has to roll like a 19 DC.
But that was my thinking, was
save.
if I just do a fuck ton of damage, it's gonna make it hard for him to concentrate. For all the like, I could cover him in paint to reveal his location, or I could laser point to him.
He has advantage.
Just
He has advantage for concentration checks. So I'm going to roll 2 dice.
Disadvantage because of his distracting intrusion.
It is a save. You're right. So that just becomes a normal die roll.
We love it.
That will not make it. He has
It's
a pretty
good thing I
good
didn't like
bonus.
hide behind the portal, and then immediately the portal goes away. And Perny's just cowering behind the air.
Oh no.
So he loses concentration. You can tell. You can see him. He loses concentration on his spell. The portal is still there.
Okay.
Interesting.
So this is interesting with your Arcana roll. You know that he was concentrating on a spell, and you are pretty sure you just broke his concentration, but the spell is still there, and you wonder if this has something to do with the runes.
Okay.
You imagine that there's still something bad about what just happened to him, because why would he have been concentrating on the spell otherwise? He also loses the concentration on his invisibility spell. So he ceases to be invisible.
Yay! I'm gonna point him out to my cuz.
Well, hang on a second, because something else is going to happen. And I just need to, because as an Archfey patron,
There's not a lot of problems that 39 points of damage can't solve or cause.
he will use his reaction when he takes damage to disappear again. There's a puff of mist. So you hit him, his invisibility flickers and drops, and everyone will see him appear where the witch bolt has hit him. Also, his control of the portal wavers, although no one can see anything happening there other than Copernicus noting with your Arcana check that you affected him. He disappears in a puff of mist. Note the damage that he has taken.
Man, what cheat codes this guy?
My witch bolt continues to hit him because he's not outside the spell's range, and I don't believe this counts as total cover. So unless he actually misty stepped and has total cover,
He had
Which
so he is trying to do that, but you get to roll a perception check to try and keep tabs on him. So first of all, he turns invisible when this happens. So he becomes invisible again.
yeah.
You have the gem of true seeing, which is still active, or I will allow you to say it's still active. Basically, I'm going to consider that concentration, but you can concentrate on two things at once.
Okay.
So you are basically one of your concentrations is being used to hold up the gem of true seeing and still kind of see where Eliphas is, and the other was to cast the witch bolt. So even though he becomes invisible again, the true seeing is still active. You can still see him.
Okay.
But he also disappears and reappears elsewhere with a misty step. So let's
Uh,
make a perception roll and see if you still have line of sight on him to keep the witch bolt on him.
And I think Gem of True Seeing is active for like 10 minutes or something when
Yeah,
you
yeah.
use it.
It's like I think it might be just a minute, but it's long enough that it's the length of the combat.
Okay. All right, perception, and I've already used my ghostly gaze to find him in the first place. So if I remember correctly, I ghostly gazed through the gem.
Yeah, just in case he was behind like a table
Okay.
or
So
something with
this is
full
just I
cover,
got no more tricks up
which
my
it
sleeve.
turned out
This
he
is-
wasn't.
This
But
is regular perception.
so just make
Not
me a perception
something
roll.
I'm known for.
Roll me a d20 and tell me what you get.
That's a 9 with the mod in.
Okay, then your witch bolt is broken as you have lost sight of him. You're not
All
sure
right.
where he just disappeared to.
All right.
And with that, I'll keep your 27 Arcana check on there. You are pretty damn sure that this is like Raven Queen Fey magic because he is a warlock of the Raven Queen.
and none of that required anything I could intercept with silvery barbs.
That was a reaction. He didn't make any roll of
Yeah.
any kind. It's just a reaction
Yeah.
that he can do. Can't be
I figured.
counterspelled.
Yeah, I
Can't
figured. I
be-
just
Just
had to
about to
check. I
ask,
just
I
had
was
to
just
make
about to
sure. I had to make sure. I couldn't help.
Yeah. But the reason that I gave you the roll to spot him is because he has to move to a place he can see, which means he can't just be like, I'm on the other side of the wall, bitch. Now you definitely can't see me. He had to pick a place that he hopes you can't directly spot him from. So
Classic Fey bullshit.
it is very classic Fey bullshit.
This guy.
All right.
This fucking guy.
And that's Copernicus. I am on to who the hell is this? I have a C and a P in initiative, and I was pretty sure the C was Copernicus, but now I'm like, was the P for Perny? Who the hell was the C then?
Captain Darius? No, he already
Nope,
went.
he's on D.
It's
I need to
both. You're
write
both
down
C
more
and
than
D.
initials when there's this many fucking people. Is the problem?
Probably, yeah.
Oh, I know who it is. It's Phoenix Langarian,
Oh.
who will continue to do some things that are not being witnessed by you.
Put,
I mean,
uh,
shouldn't that be an F?
Put PDX for him, and then it's Phoenix.
Oh yeah.
Nice, nice, nice. Next up is the guards. The guards, along with the sheriff, are getting together and trying to figure out what to do. Copernicus, make me a persuasion roll, because you just shouted out a bunch of orders, and the target that they were going after, Fetid, has just done a massive stealth, and they don't know where he is now. So I am happy to have your orders potentially be the only thing they know what to do.
Come on.
So roll me a persuasion.
The dice give and the dice take away. 6 on the die, but that does make for a 13.
Well, I will roll
A respectable 13.
I will roll and set a. You know what? I'm going to give you a reroll. I'm going to give you advantage because you're using thaumaturgy.
I'll take the reroll.
No. That wasn't you. That was Meg. She's continuing to use
That-
my character sheet.
Oh no!
That makes a
Oh,
16.
thank you.
Oh no! A bird burrito. 16 total will do it.
Yay!
I set the insight with a D12, D20, and I got a 12 plus 2. So you needed a 14. So that was a very well timed. So the guards and the sheriff, having lost sight of Fetid, but seeing this threat over here, they assume that Fetid was in league with these barbarians. They're just sort of arrows coming from the window as well as these ice barbarians. So they have a formation that they have made, and they are going to move into position to start ranged attacking barbarians and try and drive them back towards the portal. Or at least try and like drive damage into the portal area to try and bottleneck this and keep the barbarians from pouring through. They obviously realize that that's a big problem. If too many barbarians get through, that becomes a beachhead. So there are a bunch of spears being thrown. Ugna, the guy that you were pounding on with your hammer, takes a crossbow bolt from the sheriff and drops
Ooh,
because he only had
that's
2 hit
nice.
points left.
Oh, great. Cool. I softened him up.
And that leaves N. Who the hell was N?
Nobody.
Got a nice windshield wiper over there, Alina.
Yeah. Like some
What's
some
that?
bird butt on the screen. On
Oh,
the
yeah.
stream.
Always got that. Meg just crosses the camera. And also, Alina, your camera just moved because I think Meg probably pushed
Oh,
on it.
that's okay. It's actually better position now.
Or do you have like an auto
Thanks,
thing
Meg.
set up and it's
No, Meg
repositioning
is
you?
literally on top of the camera trying to like lick it. I don't know why. No.
Sounds
don't you
about
do
right.
That. Don't do it.
Well, I'll see if I
Don't
can
do
figure out
it.
who the hell
Thank
N
you.
was supposed to be later. In the meantime, now I remember who the P was. It was the Pixies.
Oh.
Oh.
They're busy maintaining that hypnosis thing.
Like, toy.
I'll say that there's a few random Pixies who are like not part of that, who are just still pulling random tricks on various people at random in the hall. But now before the round ends, or at the top of the next round, actually, the top of the next round, Tromlin has a 21, but somebody has a 24, and they're going to go first. So Tromlin,
I think I know
you
who
are
it
in the
is.
process of having the guard has tied your ankles together, and the other guard is like getting your arms into position to tie your wrists together. The other guard has firmly tied up Webby, or one of the other guards, and the Lobelia is beginning to assemble a bunch of these weird ingredients and is clearly planning to do something to you magically.
Yeah, I had a
Is
feeling.
prepping some kind of magic ritual, you think. When that flash of black that you saw following behind is going to reassert itself in the form of the door bursting open, and you're not sure how. There must be a window up the stairs, but there's a lightning flash in the sky that backlights. The flowing cape, the plumed hat. The camera pans down because he's actually only about like 4 feet tall. And with a sweep of the saber, El Gato appears in the
Yay.
doorway
Yeah.
and says, "Ho,
He
villains!"
remembers that lasagna I made him.
Indeed.
Yes, that amazing lasagna.
I had him following the Grey Towers to do something, but and then doubling back. But because you took a black
Someone is in
token,
distress.
he instead has decided he must help this distressed gentleman and his young child.
Wait, it's
child.
not a black token. It's not a black token. It's a midnight token.
Good.
That's
Call
just
back
gonna be
to
a
our
theme of the
intelligence.
night. And with a slash of a symbol of a G on the door, El Gato enters the room and engages in combat. So he will use a bonus action with a whip in his left hand. He entangles the guard who is about to tie your wrists and pulls his legs out from under him so he falls in a heap right next to you. He is also going to extend or stand. He's basically going to move to stand over you because that will put you in the very narrow range of his special. Where is it? Nope, that's the wrong character sheet. There we go. Wondered why he had Fetid's powers instead of his. His narrow paladin's aura which will give you his
Ooh.
charisma bonus to your saving throw. I would like you to go ahead and make your saving throw because your turn will be next. So go ahead and make your
You do my
Constitution saving
1d4
throw.
first.
No, the D4 roll was a one-off. You roll it and you have that penalty throughout, so it's still only a -1.
Okay.
So you currently have a straight die roll +4 from his aura bonus.
Will that be an 18?
That'll do it. Good thing he gave you his bonus because that wouldn't have done it with a 14. So you are going to rouse out of your paralysis at the start of your turn right away here. But first, El Gato is going to he basically bursts into the room, says, "Ho there, villains!" Whip the legs of the one guard and pulls his legs out from under him, so he stops from attempting to tie you up. And he is going to disarm the other guard and stand ready to skewer anybody who doesn't like it. So I'm going to roll an attack and disarm with one of his superiority points.
Nice.
And that will hit. And he will not use sneak attack damage because that would be, I disarm you, but also I murder you.
Yeah, paladin
So
rogue?
he just does, no, he has a feat that gives him a very short range paladin's aura.
Oh, nice.
It only affects the square that he is in, so himself and anyone he's like grappling
Protecting.
distance of protecting. And so, yeah, he does a little bit of damage to that guard, but also sends the guard's sword and spear clattering to the stones. And then turns the blade to face Lobelia and defy her to try something. And then it's your turn.
I do
And
not remember
you come
how
out of
many spells
paralysis.
I have. I do not
So
remember how
you
many
have used very few spells because you were not at last game when the combat began.
Very well.
And so you had not used any spells. And I can't remember. I think you definitely cast the highest level healing you could on Fetid after Toad
Right.
beat the shit out of him.
Yeah, yeah.
So you're down 1/3 level spell slot for casting that healing spell.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you cast anything else.
All right, I'm going to say, Gato, get down. As I pass my favorite spell. Let me pull it up. Guiding Bolt.
Excellent.
I am casting it specifically at the vials my sister is holding.
Yes. Make an attack roll. This is not going to be a high armor class.
I'm glad to hear it. It's was it 1d20 plus 6?
I think you have a higher than +6,
Oh,
+7
like
for your spell attack.
Don't bite my pictures.
1d20 plus 7.
No. Oh no. A natural 20?
Oh boy.
And, the black token you spent to kind of goose that.
I don't know. Black token
That's
is
right.
why
you
he
take
is
it.
being saved
Yeah,
by
right.
Elgato.
Right.
But also the eventual thing will be a bad thing that
It'll
happens.
come back.
Yeah, so you lance a guiding bolt of radiant damage into the vials that she is holding, and they explode. I'm going to roll a wild magic surge or 3. How does that sound?
Did Gato hear me and do what I asked at least?
So Gato has not yet used his reaction.
Good. You might need to in a second.
But let's see first what the wild magic occurs. I am going to roll 3 times on the wild magic table.
I don't suppose be less of an asshole.
All right. Choose who's going to take damage from the explosion. You get to choose 3 creatures.
Okay. 3?
3.
Brother, sister. That
One of
one
the
seemed
guards,
obvious, I think.
and then one of the guards, I assume.
Yeah, one of the guards.
Okay. Please roll 4d10 lightning damage for those people to
Woof.
take.
That's right, I forgot about that part.
I approve. I approve.
Very on theme. On brand.
Oh, wow, okay. 31.
31. Ouch.
Yeah.
Okay. So there is a blast of like lightning and everyone
Oh,
goes
no.
flying. The soldier is dead.
Oh no!
Your brother and sister go flying across the room in a tatter of robes and limbs and are like very put out by the thing that has just occurred.
Yeah.
And there is also an explosion of goo, and basically the effect of a grease spell is going to be centered on the point of impact. So pretty much everything in the room is going to be subjected to the grease spell effect, including yourself and everything else. It's very slippery now.
Also on brand.
Yep.
And lastly, I'm going to randomize the people in the room that this affects. 1d3 people in the room, all right, 2, are going to be unable to speak for a period of time, and only pink bubbles come out of their mouth instead. Let's see who it is.
Please be my siblings.
Demise.
Yep. I'm going to increase the probability for people who were so the most likely people are targets are going to be yourself and Lobelia as the source of the blast and the center of the blast. So 1, 2, it's you. 3, 4, it's Lobelia. 5, it's Elgato. 6, it's Lothric. 7, it's the other guard that's not dead, and 8, it's Webby.
Webby would be adorable bubbles coming out of her mouth.
Indeed. Ooh, it's a 2, it's you.
That happens.
Okay, well, it's going to make it hard to cast any further spells for a little while, but you do this. You do the so basically, here's what happens. You go, Elgato, get down. And your legs are still tied together, but all you had on your wrist was like one loop he hadn't tied yet. So you pull your hands free as the guard is like sent crashing to the ground by the whip strike, and you go, Elgato, get down. And like from a prone position, you zap a guiding bolt into this these vials of foul liquid, and there is an explosion of damage that kills one of the other guard, sends Lobelia and Lothric flying in opposite directions, splatters goo all over the room. There's black slippery oil everywhere. Oh Christ, it was 2 people. I got to roll for who the other person is. There was 2 people who got the bubble effect. So one was you, and the other is your brother Lothric. So you go to follow up with like a take that or something along those lines, and all that comes out is like and a bunch of pink bubbles. And Lothric tries to curse angrily back at you, and he just goes and a bunch of pink bubbles come out of his mouth as well. And then Webby yawns and wakes up and looks around and goes, what happening? But she's tied up and does not like it.
At least tell me that my sister was scarred from the explosion.
Oh, your sister took 31 fucking lightning damage. She's not in great shape. Your brother and your sister each took 31 lightning damage, and so did the guard, but they are just like level 1 men-at-arms, so it murdered him.
I imagine it'd be hard to tie Webby up.
Oh yeah,
being
actually,
her body type. So I'm imagining her in like a pillowcase, just like around the neck.
Oh, it's so cute.
she's got
Just her head
like,
poking out.
she's got a bunch of like cord wrapped around her, and she kind of does like a, I don't like this, and just immediately starts chewing through it with her fangs.
Good.
Yeah, I
Just
mean,
this like, because like from their perspective, they're tying up a sleeping child, but that
She's
sleeping
got a
child
lot
happens to
of
be a
legs.
demonic spider baby. So
She's got so many legs.
oh, the nut kicks she can deliver.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what's happening over there. And a bunch of other guards who were outside who were further into the space in like the suite, start like kind of like, what the hell's going on, and rushing, grabbing weapons, and otherwise pandemonium is occurring. Next up is
Real quick, for my free action, can I do something real quick?
yeah, what do you want to do?
Change my appearance. My hat.
I think you can do that with a bonus action.
Okay. That way, when people come in, they're not like, "Oh, it's the Satyr." It's like, "Who the fuck is that?"
Because all you've done is you cast that one spell and shouted. Yeah, so you've got your bonus action. I'm just
I'll
double
just change
checking
my
what.
appearance so if someone comes in, they don't see the Satyr.
Yeah, masquerade tattoo as a bonus action. You
Wait,
can.
if I
Oh,
change my
sorry,
appearance, my shape, can I get out of the bounds?
you
The
can't.
bonds?
So no, you can't change your shape. It's just an illusion. But
Okay.
also, it requires an action, not a bonus action.
Okay, then never mind.
You
Never
can,
mind.
however, as a bonus action, change the shape of the tattoo in size and color and move it to any part of your skin. So if you want, you could like put the tattoo over your entire head and change your coloration, and at least look quite different. A
Like
different satyr.
Satyr?
Blue like
But you-
me. Be blue like me.
But your clothing and your general shape and appearance wouldn't change like it will with the disguise spell.
Just blue
That's
man
fine.
But
lit up
you
your
can kind of like, you're still prone on the ground, so you can kind of like throw your arms over yourself to kind of like partially conceal, and then also oh, wait a second. Wait a minute. You could also cunning action if you want.
Oh, what does cunning action do?
So cunning action is second level rogue thing. It allows you to do a dash, hide, or disengage as a bonus action. So you could hide. Like you could literally crawl under the bed or something.
All right. I will wink to Webby, and I will do a fast hide.
Just sort of
Nice.
like roll, like with your legs tied, you kind of just roll off to the side into the it's like a big multi-poster bed. Actually, the bed chamber is probably further in. It's probably like a sitting area, but it's all like floofy, fancy. There's throw cushions and sitting rugs, and you just kind of like roll and plunge yourself into the fabric. So go ahead and roll the hide, like the actual stealth roll.
Okay.
It's not going to be like a full cover, I'm invisible now kind of hide, because you don't have the full range of movement to do that, but you'll certainly obscure your appearance quite thoroughly.
That's still 1d10 plus 9. 1d20 plus 9.
Yep, which is still pretty damn good.
Um,
What you got?
I
Remember, these
feel
are
like
just guards.
I feel like I'm wasting things right now.
Oh, did you roll another nat 20?
Here you go.
Nice.
You plunge yourself sort of torso first into the sitting rugs and cushions.
I'm gonna need these 20s later, and I'm gonna be so fucked.
I mean, this
It's
is
gonna
this
be-
is when you need them. It's like
It's
you're
still
gonna get murdered by your siblings.
It's still clear there's someone over there, but you're not highly visible in terms of like being identified later. And next up, we go back to the other room, and it is Eliphas Darkmoor and Captain Darius. Captain Darius is looking around for the target that Copernicus was talking about. But he did hear you yelling about bottlenecking that portal. So he's going to lower those cannons and just fire them full on into the portal. So into the barbarians who are coming out, there's one, remember, that's stunned and standing there staring at the hypnosis. He's just going to fire the cannons in there. Shrapnel is going through that portal. And maybe that will discourage some barbarians from coming through it. I would like you to do the honors, Peter, on the attack roll. The
It would be my
D20.
pleasure. And to quote GLaDOS on the property of portals, speedy thing goes in, speedy thing comes out. So I believe the shrapnel's coming through at full blast.
Oh, yes.
All right. So on the die, that is a 10.
That is more than sufficient for an area attack.
Love it.
So I would like you to roll. Hang on a sec. I got to double check. It's based on a fireball damage.
Love that.
Except it's force. So that is 10d6 damage, please.
That's a lot of d6. All right, give me a sec here. I'm going to throw in some d8s and then reroll 7s and 8s just to speed this up. Okay, 6, 9, 14, 17, 22, and then 26, 28, 32, 38. 38 points of damage.
Okay. I'm writing
Good
that
amount.
down. That is very bad for him. Well, for him, for them. I'm considering that force damage. I am not going to reduce that from Barbarian Raging. Because that's freaking cannon fire. I will, however, ask my players to potentially step away as I launch a poll.
Oh no.
Because it's time.
Oh boy.
And
Oh,
I
boy.
think that the audience will find this very amusing. As always, the poll will run for 10 minutes. If you need to refresh to see the poll, all you have to do is refresh the stream and you'll see it. If it didn't automatically come up, it should be there. Remember that you can vote as many times as you like with your channel points. So please do vote. I'm very excited to see which of these you choose, because this is going to have a fairly major impact on the campaign. So
The campaign.
keep those votes coming.
The
Oh, yes.
campaign.
Oh yes.
not
Okay,
the session.
so-
The campaign.
I will keep you informed, audience,
Hanya.
as we move along here. As we move through the poll. So, Eliphas Darkmoor is doing something else that cannot be seen at the moment. And that means we're up to Morgan and Fetid. Fetid is going to take some pot shots from his hiding place into the barbarians closest to the portal. And I would like you guys to make some rolls for me. Morgan, since it's your turn, why don't you do it?
All right.
Please roll his first attack with advantage.
Oh! The lowest is a 13. And the highest is a critical.
Oh my goodness. Can you please roll me his damage?
Ooh.
All right, what do we got?
6d6 plus 5 and then doubled.
Oh my god.
Sorry,
by the way,
46, sorry. I think I said 6, but I meant 4.
this is now the home of my D6s.
Nice.
It fits perfectly. All right. 46, you said?
Oh, this is a tight race. My goodness, this poll. 4d6 plus 5 and then doubled.
Okay, that is a 6, a 5, a 4, and a 3.
6, 5, 4, and 3 is 18. 19, 22, 23. Doubled is 46 points of damage. About half of which is magical damage that he does not have resistance to. That is a dead barbarian with one shot. Fetid one shots a barbarian. And now he has a second attack. So go ahead and shoot the second barbarian with advantage.
Shit.
Oh, is somebody
that
trying
is
to make
less.
these all match? Don't make me roll randomly, chat.
This
I
is
will
a 6 and a
randomize.
4, unfortunately. A 6 and a 4, unfortunately, on this one.
Sorry?
Oh, can you hear me? A 6 and a
6 and a
4.
Oh, that's gonna miss. Okay.
Yeah. He's a little tired from killing someone in one shot, okay?
Yep. I mean, he's pretty satisfied with that. He was gloating in the second shot. So he basically he took careful aim and took one of them out. And then he was like, "Oh, this is easy." And he did like an over the back mirror shot and missed completely. And I was like, "Oh, I mean, yes, well."
Hmm.
Morgan, what are you doing? What are you up to? You still got a
Um,
storm spear going.
could I have seen where that Invisibitch landed with his Misty Step?
Well,
From my
he is
vantage
invisible.
point.
He is
Oh,
invisible.
he went invisible on his exit of the Misty Step as well?
Yes. So he
Okay.
used a power that turns him invisible and teleports him away.
Okay.
So
Mm,
his initial invisibility spell that he was maintaining was lost, but then he used a power that turned him invisible again.
okay. Uh, is there a chandelier I can land on up there?
Oh yeah.
All right.
Yes.
One of the
In
best
fact,
questions
that's
to
where your
ask in any
that's where
D&D
your
game.
swirling fairy minions are.
Chandelier.
Yeah. I want to get a high up vantage point. And be shooting from the hip up there. So yeah, I will use a Misty Step.
Okay,
I'm
that's
not. Wait,
bonus
I'm not
action.
surrounded by enemies, am I? No, I'm not.
I mean,
I could just
not
jump. I
not
think.
especially. You're you're outside of the sphere, and the enemies are being um encountered in hand to hand by Ugna and Captain Darius, and now Loxodons are wading in to join the fray. You also still have the storm spear up, but you might want to drop it if you want, because you're gonna now have more of your friends
joining in. Yeah. I think I will. Oh, can I just jump up to the thing with my jump ring? My jumping boots? My hoof
You
adornment?
can indeed use your movement and your free jump ring to get up there. I think. Let me double check. It's a bonus action, so you got to choose. If you're going to use your bonus action to jump up there with your ring, that's fine, but you won't have your bonus action for other things.
What is the difficulty for a jump? Just a dry jump.
And not very high. And you got an acrobatics of +7, so you'd be pretty.
I'll try that. I'll try the jump first.
Okay, so go ahead and roll.
That's a 7 plus 7.
7 plus 7, 14, that'll do it.
And
You
from
leap up
here,
and
I will. Who's remaining of our big baddies that I can actually access, other than the regular Digger barbarian?
so all of the baddies that you can see, I mean, it depends on who you want to consider a baddie. Robin Scully is now fleeing the place. He's going to get out of here right now because he got his hypnosis broken when you hit him with lightning twice.
Oh, I'll hit lightning again. Fuck that guy.
You do not have a bonus action left with which to do that.
No, I didn't use my bonus action. I used my move.
No, but you have to use your bonus action to activate the jump ring.
Oh, okay. I thought I was using it without the jump ring. Okay.
Oh, you just wanted to like leap up like acrobatically and try and grab the thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll let you do it. You're pretty acrobatic. You can take like a running jump.
Okay. I'll use the
leap.
She got that goat in her. So yeah, from there she'll use the last of the lightning on that guy. that guy.
Go ahead,
That's
make your spell
a
attack. Spell attack.
that's another 7. Weird. Okay. 7 on the dice.
Your spell attack bonus is like a 9, isn't it? Yeah. So yeah, you hit him.
Okay. That's 3d6.
He does not have better than 16 AC.
46.
Holy heck!
Woo.
Mhm.
That is quite the poll, you guys.
I
There
thought you
is
meant
a
the
distant.
46.
No, there's a distant leader.
Whoa.
Somebody really
All right.
wanted that one.
There's a 1, 2, a 3, and a 4 on my dice. For lightning damage. And then for my action, I'm going to be beefing up Ugna.
Oh, thank you. I got
So I'm
a
gonna
black
be-
eye. I got hit pretty good by one of them.
So what did you do to Ugna?
I'm gonna enlarge Ugna.
Oh hell!
Nice.
So I'm dropping my storm sphere and doing an enlarge on Ugna.
Okay.
Oh yeah!
So you're
Ugna,
double in size.
You swell up to giant size.
Oh my god!
Oh no.
Giant, not large? Oh my god.
No,
Well,
I'm already large.
Large size. Like I
Oh
just,
my,
giant,
okay.
little G giant. Big.
Yeah,
Enormous
Okay.
size.
yeah, that's really big.
Okay, here it comes. The poll is about to end, folks.
Do I have enough action to do a perception? Or do I have to wait till my next turn to do something like that?
What are you looking for? That may just be a free.
Invisible guy.
Yeah, that would be more than just a.
Yeah. I don't think I have anything that could help try and expose him. No.
Nope. And the poll's about to end. Last chance, everybody. And it's over. Wow, that was quite the
over.
59% of the vote there.
Let us
thanks
know
to
when it's safe to
Paul.
go into chat.
Just give us a sec. I'm just double
Yeah.
checking that the comments that have been made are pushed up the chat. Just give us another. Okay.
Yeah, spam those emotes so we don't see any spoilers.
Are we good? I need to look up giant size. Or, you know,
Okay.
large size.
I think
can
we're
read
good.
it up for you.
I
Yeah.
think we're good.
Um,
Go for
For
it.
Alright,
enlarge,
go back.
the target size doubles in all dimensions and its weight is multiplied by 8. This growth increases its size by 1 category from medium to large, for example. If there isn't enough room for the target to double in size, the creature or object attains the maximum possible size in the space available. Until the spell ends, the target also has advantage on strength checks and strength saving throws. Target's
Nice.
weapons also grow to match its size. While these weapons are enlarged, the target's attack with them deal 1d4 extra damage.
Nice.
Nice.
And of
Well,
course,
everyone's gonna die.
your growth in range as well, going from taking up one
That's
square
right.
to 4 squares.
Right.
Then you have a range of everyone within that. Like
Mm-hmm.
I
That
can't do
4
math. 9 squares around.
Damn.
And
Nice.
how did Morgan do on her thirst save versus giant Ugna?
Well, that's still coming.
I relented, obviously.
Well, guess
Okay,
whose turn it is
I am
now?
already larger than average. So do I now
Yeah.
count as huge size for capacity
for
and
your-
push drag lift?
Correct.
Wow.
Holy
All
shit.
right.
And also, it's your turn.
Oh, that's a weird thing that just happened as I suddenly am almost too big for the room. Are there any like big stone pillars or something really large I can put in front of the portal?
I mean, yeah. I mean, you could just like scoop up some of the trestle tables and dump them there. You're big enough.
Yep.
You could also punch one of these You could punt some barbarians back through it, frankly. But honestly, that your idea is probably better.
Yeah. I'm gonna go, whoa, and then looking down and finding everyone even smaller than usual, which is the hell of a thing for Ugna to see. Uh, Look around, grab a handful of the trestle tables, which are now like comically small, and then shove them up against the portal like a shield, and brace them with my now exceedingly giant hammer.
Yeah, Ugna is now, like, just to keep this in perspective, Ugna is now about 15 feet tall.
Jesus.
Also, I want to point out Ugna is still dressed
Oh
in
God.
a corset singlet
Yes.
and a little
With just
tiny
some
nothing of skirt
Pauldrons thrown
slit
on.
right up and
Yeah.
pauldrons. There's like infinite Ugna leg
Mhm.
and
Oh no. If my weapons are enlarged, then my shield is also enlarged, which means I don't need a trestle table. This shield is like portal sized.
it wouldn't be big enough to cover. Remember, this portal is like 10 feet across.
Oh, okay, right. But with the help of some trestle tables and my shield,
Yeah,
I'm
you could
gonna,
like so your action is basically grab a bunch of the trestle tables,
yeah,
turn them. So these trestle tables are like 12 feet long, like they're great
Yeah.
big long. So you grab the tables and like scatter food and drink to like the four corners of the room as
so
you
I
overturn them.
take a second to go like, okay, it's on. And then I'll just
But I also want to point out
grab
that
a
most
bunch
of the
stuff.
party members could now, like, most of the party could simultaneously now fit in your cleavage.
Yep.
I feel like this is getting into weird fetish.
I mean,
territory.
yeah.
Perny's a given. Like, Perny could have fit in there with anyone already.
Mhm. I will also, take a swipe or two at any barbarians that are nearby to shove them back through this, like I'm trying to block up a tunnel or something.
Yep. So the barbarians are also going now.
Yep.
They are going to well,
Can
first of all,
I-
many of them are diving for cover around
The suddenly giant
grape
woman.
shot. Well, the grape shot,
Oh,
and
that's
then
right.
that actually gives you a pretty good moment of clearance at the portal to dump these trestle tables. The remaining ones are starting to get into fights with the various people here. There's still one fighting with Captain Darius, but then there's the Loxagons are now piling into the fight as they are being roused from hypnosis. And I think I'm just going to say there's a whole bunch of barbarians in randomly fighting. I'm going to have a couple of the barbarians that are still in the room going after the giant person because you're obviously the primary target
Yeah.
here. Wow,
What?
even with advantage, that one misses you. I rolled a 4 and a 2. This one will hit with one of the two dice on the advantage. So you are going to take another 14 damage.
Oof.
Are you still up?
I'm still up.
And
I'm definitely bloodied, but I'm still up.
then Bob Mackenzie, or Bob of the Clan Mackenzie, was dropped at the beginning of the end of last game from all of
But
the
Doug?
concerted fire. But Doug is going to try and get his vengeance on you.
Doug's vengeance.
Yep, Doug's vengeance. And he is going to finish off the Loxodon he's been fighting
Rude.
successfully. So one of the Loxodons drops. And with his second attack, his second and third attack are coming after you.
Did the blocking up the portal take all of my actions?
Yes.
Okay.
Because it's not an attack, you
Yeah,
don't get
that's
the
true.
X, so you just spend the action.
I was just thinking about my bonus.
He's hitting you for another 15 damage.
Ooh, okay. Still up.
I'm just making
That's-
sure I got the
not
number
looking
right
great,
here.
though.
12 plus, D12 plus 6.
Not feeling great.
And he has one more attack,
Oh boy.
and that will also hit you.
Oh boy.
And that one does only 9 damage.
Alright. That's fine. I'm still good.
And he is howling with rage as he slashes at you with his two-handed hockey stick / great axe. Okay. That's the barbarians. Copernicus, you're up.
Okay, I think the two priorities I'm juggling here are checking out those runes, which I assume to do anything meaningful with them probably requires an action and another Arcana check. Does that sound about right?
I would say so, yes.
Okay. Or recharging another spell slot. So I wouldn't mind having like a counter spell handy or being able to drop a tentacle somewhere. But I think I'm going to investigate the runes.
Okay.
Yeah. So here
Okay.
we go.
So roll me an Arcana check.
Hup, hup, hup.
And you already spent some time looking at these runes before the combat began, so
Nat
what
19.
happened?
Nat 19 for a 29.
29.
Yep.
Okay. So you realize, remember before I told you thought these runes had been here for a long time? They're not newly placed.
Yeah.
Those runes are a power circle. This is a general ritual spell boosting set of magic that has been in this room probably like as long as the Citadel has been here. Eliphas Darkwater was tapping into like a primal power of the Citadel. And the rune that he was working over top of when he cast the arcane sigil is a newer rune that is sustaining the spell. You think that this spell will fizzle out eventually without him concentrating on it, but that rune that is marked underneath it is keeping it going for at least a little while, and you think that you could undo that.
Yeah. Perny will crouch down into bomb defusal mode and get cracking on that.
Okay.
I think he'll scribble to the group. The runes seem to be sustaining the spell, the portal spell, even though he's not concentrating it. I'm gonna try and diffuse it. And then Perny's gonna like pretend to type really quickly and make it like a hacker movie scene. I'm in.
You
They'll
pull
think
out like
back
a
and be like, let
you
me know
pull
if you
out
need
like
me to
a
move.
you pull out a steampunk Google Glass
Yeah.
and put it on, and like there's all this like green writing, but it's still magic themed, right? Like so it's
Yeah.
all like Tolkien script.
Yeah.
It's like the Matrix, but it's like Elvish script. And you put on the thing, and like the little lens comes down, but it's clutching onto your gem of true seeing, and then like it's all like cogs and brass,
He's tapped his arcane gate into the mainframe.
and like you pull out a keyboard, but it's actually like a huge clockwork typewriter thing with huge
Yeah.
keys.
Perfect. Makes it very
Yeah.
satisfying clicky clack.
And the hackers theme, the main theme from the hackers movie starts to play, but it's harpsichord.
Yes. Yeah. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. It's all it's all from here on out. It's all like cyberpunk soundtracks, but played on harpsichords.
I would
Excellent.
listen to
Next
that.
up
That'd
is
be
the
great.
Pixies, and the Pixies, oh chat, are going to enact your votes. So the players don't see this happening, but I will reveal to them at the end of the fight what the Pixies are doing to complete their magic. And the huge swirling vortex of hypnosis is breaking up as the Pixies expend an enormous amount of energy to do a permanent spell effect.
Oh boy.
And with a last kind of like loud tittering and giggling, all of that like just permeates the Citadel. All of the various nobles that were still paralyzed all snap out of it. All the guards do as well. They all sort of like looking at each other like, what the hell just happened? And the echoing laughter of the Fae titters off into the night. As most of the pixies dissipate and disappear. The guards that are left in this room, led by the Sheriff Coldrain, are forming up in a formation and start surrounding the remaining barbarians. They're literally linking their shields and making like a spear block, and are like herding the barbarians into a limited space to protect the other people that are here. And I never did figure out what the N was at the bottom of the initiative order. The terrible roll of 3.
It's not Nightshade and she's secretly hiding somewhere in
Going
the room.
last.
No, definitely not. No, it's one of the NPCs or something, a group related to the NPCs. But
It's not the Nihilians.
no. But at this point, the remaining... Oh, and it's the nobles, of course.
Oh.
They couldn't do anything anyway because they were mostly paralyzed. And I was already just having most of them flee. Someone in the chat reminded me. Thanks, Paul. That was exactly correct.
You win the Nobel Prize.
Good.
Ah.
Good.
Bum, 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 ba, bum.
Jokes.
All right. So, nobles are fleeing left and right. They're escaping off into the night, including a few people will spot the retreating forms of Baron Scully and his badly injured lightning son, and also the mostly bare butt and white suit of the little rotund Lord Mayor Hogg, scurrying out with a group of people, which will maybe lead to Fetid running off after him, since I have to write him out anyway. A few more pot shots at some barbarians first, but now I am going to head over in the next round back to the Boltree quarters and Tromlin. So Elgato is up first. The flood of Boltree family soldiers that now are charging into the room to protect their master and mistress. They're variously trying to grab at them and pull them to safety, or interpose themselves between the two of them where they are lying crumpled from the explosion, and the threat of Elgato and yourself, although they don't particularly know where you are since you've like plunged
Don't
yourself
forget
into
the
a pile of
grease.
rags. Yeah, I was just about to say, a series of dex saves are going to ensue as a number of these soldiers go careening through the room, running in to protect, and then just skidding across the room and smashing into the far wall, or like doing the Flintstones sound effect of like as with their feet and then crashing
Bongo
to the
drums.
floor. Yeah, the bongo drums. Elgato is going to engage with several of them. One of them, at the back of the room, rather than risking the grease, is going to line up with a musket. One guy drops to the ground to provide a shoulder, and the other is going to put the weapon across his shoulder. And Elgato is going to say, well, I don't want to slip in the grease. And with his bonus action is going to use the whip to hit the chandelier. And he is going to swing heroically across the room. And he is going to sneak attack that motherfucker.
Yes.
And he can, as a swashbuckler, he can choose his one-on-one target to sneak attack. So even if he is fighting someone who is not surprised, he gets the sneak attack. I would like you to make his attack roll for me, Randy.
Oh man, this is one to fuck up, isn't it?
He has a +10.
Does he have any
Oof.
inspiration?
What'd you roll?
I haven't rolled it yet. I'm just worried.
Well, let's see what you roll first.
Oh, actually, that's not bad. It'd be a 25.
Alina.
Oh,
Kitty cat.
One good
It's
cat.
Elgato.
Elgato.
Excellent. Excellent.
That's a
He
very good
is
cat.
going to successfully hit. Please roll his damage, which is 6d6 with his sneak attack.
6d6. 22 points of damage.
Nice.
He
Nice.
is going to run the fellow through, and he is going to use his superiority die. No, he'll save the superiority die for parrying. And instead, he is going to... He already used his bonus action, so he can't do the extra attack bonus action. What else could he do?
Flip them off.
He will action surge. So he runs through the guard who is providing a support for the gun, and then with his action surge, he is going to disarm, riposte with the sword, and disarm the musket to go flying back out of the room. Roll me another attack roll.
Same 1d10, 1d20 plus
Yep.
10.
Yep.
All right. Okay. Just a 22.
Roll me 2d8.
All right. Let's see. Hold on. Excuse me. Sorry, kitten.
Okay.
That'd be 9 points.
So he sends the musket flying and skittering back into the chamber behind the guy, but also knocks him out cold. I think rather than run the first guy through, well, it's so much damage. I'm just gonna say he run him through rather than doing subdual. We'll say he did subdual on the first guard that he took down. Or no, sorry, the first guard was taken down by your explosion, so that's kind of outside of your control.
Yeah.
And since he has another bonus action with the action surge,
Jeez.
he might as well do a... Yeah, he's gonna do another his extra, he can do another extra attack with a bonus action with his Rapier of Speed. So he is going to try and take out another one of the guards behind those guys. In fact, he's disarmed with this musket. He might as well send it flying into somebody else's head and knock that guy out cold too. So roll me another attack roll, please.
Damn, buddy.
This is what Elgato does.
He does it real fucking well. 29.
Ooh.
Yeah, so it just skips the musket off another guy's head and knocks him out cold. And then follows through the swing and is now in hand-to-hand combat with a couple of the other guards towards the back of the room. He is pretty much bottled up the entire right-hand side of soldiers coming from that side. He just basically ran one through and knocked two out cold and is engaged two others. And on the other side of the room, the guards are flooding in. You're up next. You are currently hidden to some degree amongst these carpets. Do you wish to disguise yourself?
Hold on. Question. So guards are
Yep.
coming in the room no matter what. They're in the room.
Yes, a number of guards are in the room.
My daughter has freed herself.
She's in the process of freeing herself. You can see that she's chewing her way through the ropes pretty
Quick
effectively.
question. Is grease that made from the grease spill flammable?
No, it is not. It's just slippery. It just makes everything difficult terrain and forces comedy-driven dex checks.
What I'm going to do is untie my ankles.
Sounds good.
You
I
said there's
will.
Go ahead, sorry.
I would allow you to do that with a bonus action. If you're not doing anything too strenuous with your main action. Like if you want to use your disguise tattoo and fully disguise yourself, like if you want to become one of the guards or something.
I think I do.
Then I'll let
my other
you use
option
your
was
bonus
Mystic
action to
Step.
untie.
Can I try to disguise myself as someone specific?
Yes, you can.
Can I try to disguise myself as my uncle?
Yeah, you've seen your uncle.
Yep.
Good.
But like a wounded version of my uncle.
Yep.
All right. I see with a stealth check.
Nope, that is a disguise check. Now this won't be a tool use because you're doing this with the spell.
Yeah.
So actually, no, it's a deception check.
Okay. Well, that's plus 10. That's even better for me.
Yep, that's one of your best. You're
That would
quite
be
good
an
at this.
18.
All right, so you pull up the magic tattoo with your action. With a bonus action, you sort of slip a knife out of your pocket and just cut the ropes off your legs, since they never got your hands. And you can still do a movement or free action if you want to like say something.
I can't say shit,
Oh, that's right,
It's
you can't
true.
speak.
but I can mutter and make sounds, right? Like I don't have to actually
Yeah,
open
you
my
can
mouth.
point.
You can give him the finger. You can
I will
gestate
pull
as much as
myself
you want.
pull myself from the wreckage, look at the guards, and angrily point at my niece and nephew.
Okay.
Trying to wordless get rid of them.
All right. So Lothric attempts to do something, but just pink bubbles come out of his mouth. He attempts to cast a spell, and it doesn't work. Also, you notice he's starting to turn very green.
Oopsies.
And
Oops.
you imagine that
got
bite he
bit.
got from your daughter may be poisoned.
That's what I thought.
Oopsies.
That's what I
It
thought.
has the poisoned condition right now.
Good.
Lobelia scrabbles to her feet and immediately does the like I'm on skates and I haven't learned how to skate yet, back and forth with the legs in the grease spell, and then lands back on her butt with a splat. She casts a spell on herself. You're not too sure what it is. It is some sort of artificer magic that is not your main forte, and you're not in a good position to arcana on it. But you might imagine it's healing of some sort. She did take like a fuck ton of damage just now.
What?
And the guards are going to, those that are by Elgato are going to try and surround him. Those that can see you making orders, I'm going to roll. I rolled to try and pierce your disguise, and I rolled a 1. So that insight check is irrelevant. The guards are going to grab at your brother and sister and start trying to haul it. They are interpreting your commands as get them out of here, get them to safety somewhere, and they are dragging against their will Lothric and Lobelia back into the chambers of the.
Can I snap at the other guards who are surrounding El Gato? Like,
You can. I
get their
will roll
attention?
for. I will roll to try and get see what they're. Yeah, they're very preoccupied with Elgato right now.
Fair enough. I'm trying, buddy. I'm trying.
Yep.
Very good.
Wait, where did he knock that musket exactly?
It skipped off of somebody's head and went flying back into the pile of cushions.
So it's where I'm at.
More or less, you're half of the room.
I picked up a musket.
That'll be next round though, because you've done a lot this round.
Sure enough.
Moving on to the main hall. We're overdue for break here, so I'm going to kind of speed up a little bit here because now it's just the situation in the main hall. Ugna, you
Yep.
are finding like there is smashing against these
That's what I
trestles, and
figured.
you're basically putting all of your effort into holding it
Yeah.
and preventing anyone from getting through it. You can feel like blades chopping into these trestles from the other
Thankfully.
side.
I no longer have disadvantage on strength saving throws because I now have advantage as well.
So it
So it's just
balances
regular.
out.
Yep. And I'm real big and very heavy.
Morgan is concentrating on that spell, but you could also throw another bolt at a barbarian
Do I
and
have
spread some damage around.
enough of a chance to take a action, or not action surge, a second wind? I could use
Yes,
it.
go ahead and second
Thank
wind
you.
yourself.
Thank
Heal
you.
yourself. Fetid is peppering more arrows into
Oh,
the
nice.
barbarians. Morgan is peppering some more chaos bolts into them.
15
Darius is
healing.
in hand-to-hand combat with like 2 barbarians now, but he is being joined by some Loxodons. Ugna is full of turn, is like pushing against these barbarians. The barbarians are variously attacking people back, but they are struggling now
That action surge just
against
about
this
doubled my hit points.
onslaught. Well, you'll take a little bit more damage from the one main leader that's still here
Doug?
fighting. Doug is going to
Doug.
take his actions to try and pepper some more damage into you. And he gets 3 of them,
Ooh.
2 of which will hit you.
Okay. We'll see if I stay
So
up.
you're going to take 10 damage
Yep.
from one attack. And you're going to take 16 from the other.
Ooh, okay. Still up. Not by a lot. I needed that
Now,
second wind.
I'm going to randomize because one of his attacks, remember he's attacking recklessly, so it's all with advantage. One of those dice was a nat 20.
Ooh, no.
So I'm going to randomize which of those 2 attacks doubles because one of them was only 10 damage and one was 16. So 1, 2, or 3, you take another 10. 4, 5, or 6, you take another 16. Does it matter? Is both of those going to put you down, or does?
One of them will put me down, one of them won't.
All right, then it matters.
I have 15 hit points.
5. You take another 16.
Ooh, I'm down.
You are not
Except
down.
I am
because
not.
you are an orc.
I am an orc, and I am angry
you are
and
up
big.
with 1 hit point.
I have 1 singular hit point.
But you took up all 3 of Doug McKenzie's attacks.
Great. That means that somebody else is not being attacked.
Copernicus is next, and you hack it. You could feel the speed lines as you're trying to get in there. You're like moving through the matrix. Weird. It's like alchemical symbols go by you, and like a scales and like a sextant, instead of like real technical stuff. And bam, you feel the rune break, and the portal flickers. And Ugna, you're shrugging off these blows, trying to like move your body
Yeah, he's
while
like
still
chopping at me like a tree.
while you're still holding up. And suddenly, all of these trestles you're leaning against fall flat on the floor, and you just go boom, face first into a pile of tables as the portal vanishes with a loud crack.
Perny takes off his hacker glasses and says, "That's what I call MS-DOS spell magic."
Oh no.
Good. Very good.
You take 5 damage.
5 pure spite damage.
Yes.
I'm
Take
recording it.
5 pun backlash damage. I'm not joking.
I'm writing it down.
The last of the pixies points at Doug McKenzie, the barbarian. And Doug McKenzie, his head shrinks to like apple-sized, and his toucan scarf fall off. And he goes, "Hey, what do you do?" And then the pixie puts its thumbs in its ears and goes, and 2 other pixies like turn their backs and bend over and pull down their little pixie pants and wiggle their butts. And with a little fart noise, they all disappear. And that's the last of the pixies.
Good.
The guards and the Loxodons are overwhelming a couple more of these barbarians. And the last of the nobles are kind of like, most of them are fleeing the room. It's getting pretty thin in here. Kind of just guards mostly. And I'm going to jump back to Tromlin. El Gato is going to pull out his short sword, his main gauche, and double fence two of these guards, disarming them each and striking them down with a pommel blow. And the third guard that's attacking him will thrust, but he's got enough superiority to parry and take nothing for damage. And kick off of where he's standing and flip and land on top of some furniture so he's not in the grease. Guards around him are skating and falling all over themselves. You have a musket. What do you want to do with it?
He's no longer surrounded. Does he have a way out of this room to escape?
There's windows. Actually, no, sorry. This is the inner chambers. There is no windows. You're not sure if he has an avenue of escape.
How many guards are still standing?
I mean, not many. There are guards pulling Lothric and Lobelia into the bedchambers. There are guards like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guards already taken out. And then several others that are skating and slipping and sliding in the grease. There's maybe 2 more at the door who are kind of like standing over the doorway, the exit.
And has my daughter untied herself yet?
Yeah, she's like pulled herself free, and she's now sort of like pulling all the, like she's wrapping the cords up, like she's gonna do something, like she wants them. She's kind of trying to weave them into a web.
Okay, I am going to, let's see. I'm tempted to take a shot of the musket at my siblings.
It's a musket. It's like a blunderbuss. Like you could fire into that like area, that like 5-foot area that includes your siblings and various guards.
These aren't like city guards. Like I'm
No,
not.
these are the men at arms of your family. The Boltree. These are Boltree household.
And I now
guards.
know that they're kind of low level because 31 points obliterated one of them.
Yep.
If I fire into the crowd, will I be hurting El Gato?
No, he is. So the chamber that you're in is like an antechamber with entrances on both sides, and guards came through both ways. The guards that El Gato engaged are on the right, and the guards that are pulling Lobelia and Lothric out of the room are on the left.
I've got to help El Gato. He can't help me. I will aim.
Roll a d20.
7.
7?
The +7. Is it my normal attack?
No, this is going to be your dex-based attack for you. Yes, which is +6.
Okay, that's what I need to know. Do I get a sneak attack bonus?
Yeah, you'll get your sneak attack bonus because they are not expecting this at all.
Well, enjoy, gentlemen. 30-20.
A dirty 20. All right. Roll me.
Too.
Just double checking what a normal. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, please roll me 2d12.
2d12.
Yep.
Here's hoping for high. Oh. 17.
17 damage. Couple of the guards like go down with injuries. Like they're all bloodied. All of these guards are bloodied. Your sister shrieks in anger. And Lothric, you can barely even see him. He's kind of like half collapsed against a guard, and they all go tumbling backwards and start like scrambling through the doors. Lobelia is going to crush a magical sphere that she was holding, which causes her to Misty Step. And she disappears from view.
Ironically, my next plan was as well.
You still can. You have a bonus action. You can Misty Step with a bonus action.
I look at my daughter because I can't carry my daughter though, can I?
I'm not sure. I thought you can. Can you take someone with you with a Misty Step?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I'm just looking.
Unless I-
Thunder step, but I'm not sure. Misty step.
Can I put
No,
her
you
in my
can't.
pack? Can I treat her like an item and carry her?
Because you took a black token, I will allow it.
I'm gonna scoop her up and Misty Step, basically past the guard, like basically however far we came.
Like it has to be somewhere you can see, so you can see out into the hallway behind the guards. Poof,
Yep.
you're there.
Later, motherfuckers. I assume that musket's useless now.
Yeah, it has to be reloaded,
Yeah, that dropping.
and you
that,
don't have
I
all
need
the
that.
stuff for it because you weren't armed with it. The
But at
guards are going to
least
kind of like.
I made it a little easier for Elgato to get out.
Yeah, one of the guards like turns to like go after you, like what the, and then like a whip from in the room goes around his neck and yanks him backwards, and you hear a shout of something along the lines of "Flee to freedom, good citizen."
Nod.
Ha ha!
Grab my kid and we're gone.
You have been thwarted by the mighty Elgato. And there's more flashing of blades and like hooping and hollering of guards falling in the grease and generally
A Zorro
mayhem.
episode.
Oh yeah, I originally was going to have him swoop into the Great Hall and fight barbarians with you guys, but
Sorry,
with
y'all.
Tromlin's
This is
black
much
token,
better.
nope, absolutely, he came to the rescue instead.
I'm sorry, y'all.
No, it's better, way better.
No, I love it. Also, I got our Bob and Doug barbarians to share after the break, so I look forward to that.
And we are about to leave combat, but basically, Ugna, with your 1 hit point, you can whirl around and like just now that you don't have to hold up the tables anymore, you can just drop your hammer two-handed on Doug McKenzie's head.
His little tiny head.
And
actually,
spend your last superiority point for extra damage.
Yep.
rather than continuing to attack folks with what are they called? My cantrips. Would it be possible to void warp? No, void warp is no, it's not. It's not consensual. Void warp the guy that I was hitting with lightning that was on the run.
You want to
Robin?
Yeah, I want to force him back into Ugna's swing.
Could do, but that would be a very, very obvious thing to happen to him.
Oh yeah,
like, so far
he was the one.
Random met. All you know is that the party doesn't like him.
Oh no, I know he was talking to the assassin.
Yeah, and he was talking to the assassin.
The assassin was like
bolts have hit him for
attacking us. Like we almost died because of the assassins that he's been sending.
I mean,
that I assume that is all him.
Though, so like if you just kill him in front of the room of nobles.
Yeah, that was my point. Like also the sheriff and the soldiers that are here fighting on your side might take exception to one of the nobles being like openly murdered by Ugna.
I think I'll void warp him back into the room because he was the one that we saw talking to the assassin.
Sure.
So maybe I'll drop him in front of the sheriff actually that's fighting with us. And let him know.
How about you drop him? How about you just drop him into the shambling mound?
Oh yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Good.
Just like in a haystack. Shambling mound's like, like he's got mice in him. But I was just narrating through the rest of the comment. We're not taking any actions here.
Yeah, I just don't want him to get away.
Between Fetid, I mean, you know where he's going to be. Like, it's not like he's leaving town. You know who he is. But Fetid puts a few arrows into Doug McKenzie, and Ugna, you drop the hammer on his head, and he finally collapses. The various Loxodons and soldiers and Captain Darius, with now having support from freed up from other tasks, Copernicus and Fetid and Morgan are quickly able to hit these other barbarians, take these other barbarians down. Fetid was saving his last second level spell slot for a heal, so he's going to do that on you, Ugna.
Cool. Good.
So he'll cast that at the higher level. I believe it's 2d8 plus 4.
Yeah, I'm like leaning on my hammer now and bleeding freely from this guy chopping up my legs.
Yeah, you get 14 hit points back, so you're
Nice.
at 15 now.
15. It's a reasonable amount to have.
And Fetid is going to do that, and then he is going to go, and he's going to say, I don't know if I told you, but I set a whole bunch of traps in the tunnels, and the barbarians that are attacking the gates are probably also attacking the tunnels. I'm going to go check on the Quaggles. And without a further word, he bolts towards like a little grate near the floor and like crawls into it, squirms his way down into the sewers, and disappears.
Good.
Sweet dude.
And with that, we're going to take a break.
Right,
Quick,
What's up?
can I spare the dying on anyone to get some juicy vampire hit points?
You can. There's lots of dying barbarians, but there's also a couple of dying Loxodons.
Ooh, get them.
I think you probably want to save them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll start
So
with
yes.
people on our side. I will eventually stabilize barbarians because good
Yep.
for questioning or whatever. But yeah, so should I roll a die and that's how many uses I get out of it? Or is it temp HP? Is it temp HP, not
Just
proper
there's
hit
only like a few. There's only a few Loxodons who were dropped by the barbarians, like maybe 3, and you can get to all 3 of them before anybody's death saves go too
Good.
far.
All right, saving lives and stealing HP. All right.
Okay, so we're gonna go to break. I know we're late. Sorry about that. So let's take a short break. And I just want to point out the last thing. Echoing into the night, Copernicus, you barely think you hear this echoing voice of Eliphas Darkmoor with a "damn you" carrying on the
got away
wind
for
from
it.
somewhere.
Could have got away with it too if it wasn't for those meddling
And
trash heroes.
but I want
Oh,
to
get you, Gadget!
I want to reveal the results of the poll because the party or the poll was that the Pixies' last ditch effort will be a permanent curse on Eliphas Darkmoor, and I let the chat choose what it was, and they chose from between. He has a squeaky high voice now, permanent clown makeup,
Oh no.
Good.
and mocking illusions that follow him everywhere, and that's the one that they chose with over 200 votes.
Ooh.
59% of the
Brutal.
votes because somebody really liked it. I think it was Paul, and dumped all his channel points
Are
on
we
it.
gonna haunt his dreams forever?
So he now has permanent fairy illusion magic following around and mocking him wherever he goes.
Good. As he should.
After the break, I have a story to tell.
So
All right, we'll see you in a few.
let's go to break. We'll be back shortly.